Now imagine this. You've just watched a MotoGP bike lean past 60 degrees of angle, shoulder skimming tarmac. Its carbon brakes are glowing while the rider experiences 1.5 Gs of deceleration. These machines reach over 220 miles per hour, they produce more than 280 horsepower, all while weighing less than 350 pounds. These prototype rockets are engineering distilled to its purest form. Now imagine this. A 620-pound Harley-Davidson touring bike hitting speeds of 180 miles per hour, all while carrying panniers and a fairing the size of a small satellite dish. This is not parody, and this is not a festival stunt. This is the Harley-Davidson Bagger World Cup entering MotoGP weekends. And whether you love it or hate it, it might be one of the boldest strategic moves in modern motorcycle racing. And to understand why this matters, you have to rewind.
Obviously, Harley-Davidson is very serious about their racing and getting out there and winning and promoting their product.
They've always been serious. They've been very serious since 1914, and they've been in the racing steady all the time. And we feel it's a very important part of the sport of motorcycling, really. You have a lot of appeal to your people on the street want to see. The same as you do in all type of racing. They're very brand conscious. They want to see racing motorcycle. They want to see their brand leading the pack.
Because long before Harley became shorthand for chrome and highway cruising, it was a racing company. In the 1910s and 1920s, Harley dominated board track racing. These were wooden velodromes. There was no brakes, no suspension, and speeds over 100 miles per hour on planks nailed together. Crazy fact about these bikes is that they had what is called a total loss system, which means that as they were racing, they had to pump oil periodically into the engine to keep it lubricated. And the mental part, aside from everything else, is that when the engine had finished with the oil, it just dumped it onto the track. It was mechanical and racing madness. But Harley built lightweight, high-revving V-twins specifically for this purpose. Racing was R&D. It was proved durability, it proved power, and it sold motorcycles. Then came flat track. From the 1950s through the 1980s, Harley became synonymous with American dirt track racing. The XR 750, introduced in 1970, would become one of the most successful race bikes in history. It won over 500 AMA Grand National races. And this is where legends were made. Chris Carr, Scott Parker, Jay Springsteen. And then don't forget Evel Knievel, he was using Harley machinery as part of his mythos. The XR 750 wasn't just competitive, it was dominant for decades. Its 45-degree V-twin layout delivered brutal torque and traction out of corners on loose dirt. It suited American oval racing perfectly. So why was Harley so good? Well, because the rules favoured torque, because the tracks favoured stability, because the bikes were simple, robust, and easy to tune. So Harley understood its battlefield. But the world changed, and by the 1980s and 90s, global road racing was becoming the pinnacle. Inline fours from Japan, advanced chassis, liquid cooling, high revving engines. Harley tried to respond. In 1994, they launched the VR1000, a liquid-cooled 60-degree V-twin built to compete in superbike racing. It was ambitious, it was technologically advanced for Harley, but it also struggled. Limited development budget, political tension between race engineers and corporate management, reliability issues, and against Japanese factories pouring millions into racing, Harley was just outgunned. So by the early 2000s, Harley stepped back from the elite global road racing. They focused on what they did best: lifestyle, heritage, American V-twin identity. For many, Harley stopped being a racing brand. But racing never really left its DNA. Fast forward to 2020 and Moto America launches King of the Baggers.
Moto America AMA FIM North American Road Race Championship, our fourth round of 9.
The concept sounds ridiculous. Take full dress American touring motorcycles, road glides, Indian Challengers, keep the silhouette, keep the bags, and make them race. What began as a novelty exhibition quickly became something else. These bikes produce up to 180 horsepower. They weigh roughly 620 pounds race ready. They use Olin suspensions, Brembo brakes, and sophisticated electronics. They can reach 180 miles per hour, and they lean hard. What makes it so compelling is visible physics. You see the mass transfer, you see the torque twist the chassis. It looks like it shouldn't work, but it does. And serious riders have noticed. Currently in the league is Bradley Smith, former MotoGP racer, and Loris Baz, former World Superbike and MotoGP rider. And rumours are that even the Maniac is king. That tells you something. This is not cosplay racing. It's a professional series with factory backing, engineering development, and genuine competition. And it grew quickly. Crowds responded, social media exploded, the spectacle worked, which leads to escalation. Now the concept goes international. The series entering MotoGP weekends is called the Harley-Davidson Bagger World Cup. And here's the critical detail. Right now, it's Harley only. No Indian, no other manufacturers. Not yet. 4 teams are currently entered, representing 4 different regions. Saddleman Race Development from the United States, Cecchini Racing Garage from Italy, Joe Rascal Racing from Australia, and Niti Racing from Indonesia. America brings established performance credibility. Saddleman has already won the 2024 Mission Super Hooligan National Championship and is deeply embedded in V-twin performance culture. Italy brings European technical expertise through Cecchini Racing, decades of MotoGP paddock experience and engineering precision. Australia, through Joe Rascal Racing, represents the Asia-Pacific expansion strategy, a region Harley has long wanted stronger performance identity in. And Indonesia's Niti Racing marks a first. Indonesia is one of the largest motorcycle markets in the world. Entering the MotoGP stage with a national team is a powerful statement. So, while the bikes are American, the grid is global. This matters. MotoGP weekends are the cathedral of performance motorcycling. Millions of viewers, international press, and hardcore sport bike fans. Placing baggers in that environment is deliberate. It forces a comparison, and that comparison creates conversation. Okay, let's address the elephant in the paddock. These bikes are not prototypes, they're not going to set lap records, and they're definitely nowhere near as fast as a MotoGP bike. And there's plenty of naysayers out there saying, well, is this even real racing? Legitimacy in motorsports is not defined by absolute speed. It's defined by competition, rider's skill, and engineering within constraints. Racing 620 pounds at the limit requires immense precision. Managing braking with that mass, controlling torque delivery without the insane electronics that MotoGP has, preserving their tires under that amount of load. I mean, in some respects, the margin for error is even smaller. Because when something that heavy moves, it's moving with authority. The riders aren't just out there cruising. They're wrestling physics. I mean, if MotoGP bikes are aerospace engineering, then baggers are industrial strength brutality, slightly refined for asphalt. We got different philosophies, but same intensity. Yeah, so why is Harley doing this? I guess it's a new strategic layer, right? Harley-Davidson is having to navigate a really changing market. We've got young riders, global competition, and performance expectations that are being shaped by the European and Japanese brands. I mean, they launched the Pan America, they've reinvented the Sportster platform, they spun off the Livewire as an electric brand. These are all signals of evolution, and the Bagger World Cup fits this pattern. It's not abandoning their heritage and what they're known for, it's weaponizing it. Harley's core product is large displacement American V-twin. Instead of trying to beat Ducati or Yamaha at their own prototype game, Harley creates a battlefield that plays to its strengths: torque, presence, identity. And by placing these bikes on the MotoGP weekends, Harley achieves 3 things. First is global exposure in a performance-focused environment. Second is technical validation in front of the many, many skeptics. And third, which ties on to the second, is the cultural relevance amongst riders who may have dismissed the brand. And you will have noticed something else. This is the probably biggest comment on all the social media posts from all the haters, is that there is no other manufacturers entered into this competition yet. I mean, it is called the Harley-Davidson Bagger World Cup. Oh, Harley versus Harley. At least they can win something for a change. Jeez. I mean, people saying that obviously don't realize that the Moto 2 bikes are all Triumph street triples. But this is Harley funding this experiment. If it succeeds, the others might follow. But this is a calculated risk. And taking a risk, maybe it's what Harley needs to do. Now, if this Harley-Davidson Bagger World Cup succeeds on MotoGP weekends, then several outcomes are possible. The grid expands, more teams, possibly more manufacturers. Technology could filter down into production baggers. You get better suspension geometry, improved braking systems, aerodynamic refinements. A new hybrid category of performance bagger could then emerge. For decades, Harley has seen primarily as heritage. This move suggests ambition. Maybe it tells younger riders that performance and tradition are not mutually exclusive. And perhaps most interestingly, it goes full circle and reconnects Harley with its racing origin story. From wooden tracks in 1915, to the dirt ovals in the 1970s, to global MotoGP weekends in the 2020s. I mean, the arc is pretty compelling. I'm going to close off here because I know I've been waffling on. I've got a lot to say about this topic, a lot to say to all the naysayers. But in closing, we'll say this, that motorcycle racing has always been about pushing ideas to the limit. Sometimes it's a touring motorcycle dragging hard parts at 180 miles per hour in front of a global audience. Harley didn't bring baggers to the MotoGP because it was safe, right? They brought them because it forces the question, what is performance? If performance is lap time alone, then the answer is simple. But if performance is identity, if it's engineering under constraint, if it's the courage to try something different on the world stage, then this might be one of the most interesting experiments in modern racing. The loudest bikes in the paddock might not be the fastest, but they just might be the boldest.